Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to preface this by saying that I hope everyone is staying healthy and safe and at home wherever you might be around the world. I'm currently located in Bangkok, Thailand. I just want you guys to know that my thoughts and prayers are with everyone who is dealing either indirectly or directly with COVID-19, and to everyone also staying home and trying to stay sane. I've been home for about 6 weeks now, and I think that's probably going to extend for a little bit longer. You know, I know this is a really difficult time for a lot of people, even if you're just staying home, because it takes a mental toll on you. It really does, and I think to minimize that would be unfair. So my thoughts are with you guys. In the spirit of staying home and socially distancing from each other and not being with our loved ones, I thought it would be interesting to finally make a video that I've been wanting to make for quite some time, which is a long distance relationship video. Kind of a mix between my experience going through long distance relationship slash in combination with tips. So let's just go ahead and get started. I am no longer in a long distance relationship, but I was in one for 4 years. So basically my boyfriend Tristan, who I am with now, we met when I had just graduated from high school in Singapore. We probably knew each other for a solid like 2 weeks before I moved to the US, because I was going to Boston University for my undergrad. He's based here in Bangkok, and we met in Singapore, and then we hung out for 2 weeks. So then it came to a point where I was like, okay, well, this is great and all, but I just gotta, you know, go to the US real quick, just like 4 years. So what do you want to do? To this day, you guys, I don't know why we both decided that it was a good idea to try to do a long distance relationship, because it was for, like, we knew from the start it was 4 years I would not be here, and it's on the other side of the world. You know, I was moving to Boston. How often are we gonna see each other? We don't even know. We don't even know each other that well. Like, I was 18 at the time and he was 22, so he was a little older than me. Something for both of us said that we wanted to try, and so we did. It was hard, you guys. We were very different people, but we didn't know each other. We were like essentially strangers. I mean, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. We made a lot of mistakes. We grew a lot. We changed a lot as people. It takes a lot of effort. It takes the right people, and it takes a lot of commitment, and also a lot of communication and a lot of trust, which Tristan and I really went into the relationship not having a lot of those things, because like we had just met. I'd say we took the most difficult route in terms of relationships and long distance relationships. So I guess I'll go through some tips that I have that made the LDR a little bit easier for us. The first thing is to have like little surprises. It can be big stuff, but it can also be really small stuff. So for example, if you're in a situation where you're able to surprise your significant other by flying to them or driving to them, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that because we were like, you know, halfway around the world. I just think that's really cool when couples do that, and I love to watch like, you know, like surprise videos and stuff. Smaller stuff, for example, we weren't able to be with each other on our birthdays a lot, and so when I would visit him in Bangkok, I'd either bring a present or I'd buy a present when I was here, and I'd wrap it and then hide it somewhere in the house. Like a month later, it was his birthday, so I tell him like, oh, go get your present here and we're gonna open it together on FaceTime. So it's as if I was kind of there giving him his present, but I'm not. There's that, and then there's also, you can send them balloons, or you can send them like a little cake, or if you know people in their family or people close to them, definitely reach out to them and ask them to help you plan a little surprise. Sometimes Tristan had to leave the country for work when I was still visiting him here, and so before I left, I would leave little notes, like love notes, like all around the house, like hidden in different places. So then when he came back and I was gone, every day he would find little love notes like here and there. And I know it sounds, you know, like cheesy and corny, but in a long distance relationship, you guys, those things, you'd be surprised how much they can mean to your relationship. It's just like really like sweet surprises that keeps you there when you're not really there. The next one is to set a schedule and to be really consistent with it. In a normal relationship, when you're not doing long distance, it's not as easy to bail on someone as it is in a long distance relationship. I think it's really important to be respectful of each other and each other's time and each other's schedule. Create a schedule that works for both of you, that you both try your best to stick to. And I know sometimes you have to be understanding when things do come up and that your significant other isn't able to, you know, call you. By the way, guys, all these tips and opinions are all mine and all from personal experience. If you guys have different opinions, I totally understand. If you disagree with anything, I totally understand. Relationships in general are all different for each couple, so our views are probably gonna differ. But actually I find that very interesting. So if you guys have anything that you disagree with or other tips that you have, I would love to read them if you want to share them. So another thing is to do things together, which is kind of obvious. Watch movies together. The best thing that we did was watch TV shows together. So every week we would have an established day when we'd watch the next episode of this or that. There's this app called Quiz Up, and we would just play it every once in a while, which is fun. Something important to remember is that not all visits are going to be ideal, and that's okay. I think in a long distance relationship, there's so much pressure that every time you see each other, things have to be perfect because you see each other a lot less than you would in a normal relationship. So for example, in normal relationships, if you guys see each other every day, not every day is going to be perfect. So to expect a long distance relationship to then be like that, I think is unrealistic. To not put pressure on it to be perfect. So another important thing is to have a team mindset, especially when you guys are fighting. If you approach a situation where you're thinking like, okay, we're talking about this as a team to find a solution for us to come back to each other, to be one again. It's we're fighting a problem together. You would be really surprised how literally saying that at the beginning of an argument or when you're about to address a problem can really change the trajectory of where that conversation goes and how you find an effective solution. Do not disappear on your significant other, because number one, that's just sketchy, and number two, that's so rude and like it's so disrespectful. I know how easy it is when you're mad at each other to literally just turn off your phone, just not reply to anything, not answer any phone calls. It's so easy to do that because they can't come knock on your door, right? I think that is extremely disrespectful and extremely detrimental to your relationship. You can be a mature adult and deal with things in the right way. And so, for example, if you're fed up with your significant other and you just need some space, just ask for it, you know? Be straight up and say, look, I'm a little overwhelmed right now, or I'm a little mad right now. I need some space and I need a couple days or a couple hours, whatever you need. Like, be vocal about it. Your partner in return should also be respectful and understanding of your needs. It's really not the way to deal with things, just to disappear. So don't do it. Okay. Communication is key. I think everyone knows this. You need to be able to communicate in a long distance relationship, or else you're just asking for trouble. I feel like we're actually extremely good at communicating with each other, especially in moments where there's conflict. Conflict resolution through communication and through tools that you can use, approaches that you can use. You just have to have no ego, you guys. You have to have no pride, and you have to be able to listen to your partner, and not just listen but really hear them. If you're someone who has a really hard time just talking about your feelings in general, your partner is not going to be able to, you know, read your mind about how you're feeling about some things, and you're not able to see each other either. So it puts you in a really tough situation, especially if there's anything bothering you. My opinion is you just say it. If you are proactive about it and you're able to say, hey, I'm not feeling particularly comfortable with this. Is there a way we can talk about it and a way we can find a solution to make me feel better? Communication is key. The most important thing, you guys, I really believe this, and you know, this applies to people who are even in just normal relationships, but it's to have a life outside of your relationship. And that is so hard, especially when you're falling in love and you're just, that's your world, you know, you're just in love. At least for me, I was trying to take care of this relationship, and that was what my whole world was about for the first 2 years of our relationship. I didn't have a lot of friends, and with the friends that I did have, I never did anything with them. I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't participate in any school activities. I just sat home all day, every day to FaceTime. I learned the very hard way that that is really not what you should do in a relationship, because we broke up 2 years into our relationship, and that was really hard for me. That was the first time that I had experienced heartbreak. I'm so lucky that I have the family that I do, because if I didn't, I don't know how I would have gotten through that time. But you know, it was hard, it was painful, but I am so grateful for it because it kind of woke me up. I realized, God, like, I don't have my relationship anymore. What do I have? I had nothing. That's when I finally started to put the focus on myself. Well, I reached out to friends that I hadn't talked to in a long time. I reached out to new friends, and I started actually hanging out with them. I started watching basketball games with my friends. just a lot of stuff that I don't think I would have ever discovered if we had not broken up and I had not shifted the focus to me. And I remember then when we were, you know, considering getting back together, I was like, but I don't want to go back to who I was in our first 2 years of our relationship, and I don't want to lose my life and how it is right now. And I made it very clear to him when we were talking about getting back together. I said, I'm not going to be that girl that was with you for the first 2 years, and me now is someone who's not going to sit at home and wait for your phone calls. And luckily for me, he was actually going through changes himself. We were going through very, very different changes, and he was very understanding and very accepting of the changes that I was going through, and he was actually very encouraging about it. And after we got back together, I promised myself to put myself first, and I want to feel the security that if tomorrow I'm not in this relationship anymore, that I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to fall apart like I did the first time, you know? And that's the only security that I need in life, is that to know that I will be okay if I don't have him anymore. Just having that security is a sense of freedom that's like unlike anything else. Like truly, I felt liberated just knowing that my happiness and my life didn't depend on my relationship. And so after we got back together, you know, for example, summers were really important to us because those were 3 months that I was able to just come and spend 3 uninterrupted months with him. Other than that, our trips would be at most a week, and those were probably 3 to 4 to 5 months apart. So we really didn't spend that much time with each other, and so summers were really a big thing. When we had gotten back together, I had already applied to go to London for a summer abroad because we were broken up, and I was like, well, what am I going to do this summer? And I thought, well, study abroad in London is a great idea. So I applied to it, I got in, and I was set. Like, the plans were set. But then we got back together, and then I thought to myself, well, gee, we're not going to have this summer together. Should I still go? And I remember thinking that, and I remember thinking, you made a promise to yourself that this is going to be a new relationship, and this is going to be new you in this new relationship, and you're not going to put your relationship over things you want to do, over passions and paths that you want to follow. And this was one of them. So yeah, I decided to go to London, which was the best decision of my life, you guys, and if you ever get a chance to study abroad in London, you should do it because it's a fabulous time. And I met a few of my best friends on that trip. So I was best decision ever, you guys. I was so happy that I decided to do that, and it just solidified the promise that I made to myself that I'm gonna put myself first. And to this day, you know, I still really try to hold true to that promise. I think in any relationship, long distance or not, it's important for you to do that. You want to have a support system that's there for you, that you've been maintaining and nurturing outside of your relationship. I want to say thank you to a lot of really, really great people in my life, friends, and also my family, but a lot of friends, you know who you are, who helped me out through my heartbreak, and I always will be so grateful to them for how much they just held me up in a time that was quite honestly the most pain I've ever felt. I wish all of you who are currently in a long distance relationship, especially dealing with the current global situation, very good luck. Don't worry, you will get through it, and I wish you the very best luck for however much longer you have in your long distance relationship, and I hope that you come out of it stronger and better, because that's definitely what happened for me and Tristan. Actually, this relationship has meant so much to me, not only because I'm with someone that I love very much right now, but also personally, I had never, up until being in this relationship, reflected on myself. It really instigated personal growth. I'm just really grateful for waking up and actively pursuing growth and actively pursuing becoming a better version of myself. And so now I think Tristan and I are both on this combined journey to become better people for ourselves and for each other. And I'm really proud of where we've gotten to today. I hope that this was interesting to you guys. I hope that if you are thinking about a long distance relationship or are currently in one right now, that I shared some insights that might help you guys out. Please hit hit like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!